Welcome to the DEFCAM. The confirmation by Pakistan Air Force officials to Alan Warnes of Force Monthly that 4 Indian Rafale fighters were destroyed during the May 2025 clash, with tail numbers BS-001, BS-021, BS-022, and BS-027, has exposed the limits of India's claims of aerial superiority. This confirmation, combined with additional reports of a Su-30 MKI, a MiG-29, a Heron drone, and possibly a Mirage 2000 being lost in Kashmir, as suggested by recovered fuel tank footage, reveals a comprehensive picture of Pakistan's ability to integrate technology, doctrine, and precision execution in high-intensity conflict. From Pakistan's perspective, this confrontation validated years of investment in network surveillance, electronic warfare mastery, indigenous radar development, and advanced weapon integration. The Indian Air Force entered the May crisis convinced that its most modern acquisition, the Rafale, would impose a decisive advantage. For years, Indian strategists had projected that the Rafale's active electronically scanned array radar, Meteor missile, low observable shaping, and Spectra electronic countermeasures suite would be unassailable in South Asian skies. However, the confirmed destruction of these Rafales shows that these features could be systematically countered through meticulous preparation. Pakistan had long studied the radar signatures, data link emissions, and jamming patterns of the Rafale. Extensive electronic intelligence gathering created a library of spectral fingerprints that allowed Pakistani systems to identify, track, and engage the jets with confidence even when they attempted to mask their presence. The key to this outcome lay in the fusion of sensors and weapons into a resilient command and control grid. Pakistan deployed layered ground-based radar coverage overlapping with airborne early warning and control aircraft, allowing seamless handover of target tracks to fighter patrols. This integration denied the Rafales any surprise advantage. Once these aircraft entered contested airspace, their paths were constantly monitored. Even when Spectra attempted to spoof radar locks, Pakistani operators exploited carefully modulated frequencies and algorithms optimized against low observable platforms, ensuring target continuity was not lost. The engagement of BS-001 and BS-021 occurred when Indian forces initiated probing maneuvers in the opening hours of the clash. These aircraft attempted to push toward Pakistani territory in coordination with support elements. However, jamming by Pakistani electronic warfare units degraded their data links, forcing them into semi-autonomous operation. The resulting fragmentation of their situational awareness created gaps that Pakistani interceptors exploited. Beyond visual range, missiles with active seekers were launched under conditions carefully designed to minimize Meteor's engagement envelope. Both Rafales were destroyed before they could achieve coordinated firing solutions. BS-022 and BS-027 were lost later when India reinforced its operations with another wave. By then, Pakistan had recalibrated engagement zones, channeling the Rafales into a corridor with overlapping radar coverage. When these aircraft attempted to maneuver out, they were caught by interceptors vectored through real-time data links. Once again, their countermeasures were saturated and both jets were destroyed. The sequential elimination of all 4 Rafales revealed not just tactical superiority, but also the resilience of Pakistan's networked combat management system. The confirmed losses extended beyond Rafales. A Su-30 MKI was downed when it attempted to flank Pakistani patrols at medium altitude. This aircraft relied on its radar to detect hostile fighters, but was ambushed by a long-range missile launched from a concealed position. The MiG-29 was eliminated during an attempted escort mission, showing the vulnerability of legacy aircraft when forced into contested zones dominated by advanced electronic warfare. The downing of an Indian Heron drone underscored the depth of Pakistan's surveillance and interception capability, as this platform was destroyed before it could relay imagery of Pakistani deployments. Reports of a Mirage 2000 loss in Kashmir, indicated by footage of a fuel tank on the ground, add weight to claims that Indian attrition during the clash was broader than admitted officially. The performance of Pakistani pilots was decisive. Years of rigorous training under simulated electronic warfare conditions allowed them to trust their command system and maintain composure in highly contested skies. They maneuvered to deny Indian aircraft favorable firing zones and coordinated seamlessly with ground controllers. This contrast with Indian pilots, who relied heavily on onboard systems and lost cohesion once those systems were degraded, was a key factor in the favorable exchange ratio. Strategically, the downing of Rafales has shattered the aura of invincibility surrounding the type. India had invested billions of dollars and projected the aircraft as a game-changer. Its destruction at the hands of Pakistani interceptors demonstrates that prestige acquisitions cannot guarantee air dominance if the adversary invests in counters tailored to neutralize them. The loss of a Su-30 Mki and a MiG-29 further compounds India's problem by eroding numbers and exposing its dependence on mixed fleets with varying levels of survivability. The clash underscores Pakistan's philosophy of achieving resilience through layered indigenous capabilities rather than relying solely on imported platforms. Locally developed radar systems, advanced seekers for air-to-air weapons, data links optimized for contested environments, and electronic warfare tools designed to counter regional threats all played vital roles. This autonomy allowed Pakistan to adapt responses to Rafale's strengths and turn them into weaknesses. India, dependent on foreign suppliers for updates and fixes, lacks similar flexibility, leaving its frontline assets exposed when confronted with tailored counters. The broader implications of this confrontation extend to deterrence dynamics. Pakistan's ability to destroy 4 Rafales, a Su-30 Mki, a MiG-29, and a drone while inflicting possible additional losses has upended the assumption of Indian escalation dominance. It demonstrates that Pakistan retains both the will and the capability to resist coercion in the air domain. This shifts the psychological balance of power, forcing India to consider whether its imported high-value platforms are survivable in combat, and compelling its planners to restrict their deployment rather than use them as instruments of intimidation. At the operational level, the engagement highlighted the importance of coordinated electronic warfare. The ability to jam Rafale data links, confuse its sensors, and degrade pilot situational awareness was central to creating windows for missile shots. This synergy between electronic attack and kinetic engagement illustrates a maturing doctrine in Pakistan, where each element of the force multiplies the effectiveness of the other. By contrast, Indian reliance on Spectra as a self-contained defensive shield proved inadequate once subjected to sustained and adaptive jamming. The recovery of wreckage, visual confirmation of destroyed tail numbers, and documentation of fuel tanks and debris add credibility to Pakistan's claims and counter Indian denials. Unlike past confrontations where battle damage assessments were contested, the specificity of details provided by Pakistan Air Force officials demonstrates confidence in their reporting. This strengthens Pakistan's narrative internationally, positioning it as transparent and accurate compared to India's history of minimizing losses. The May clash will be remembered not just for the number of aircraft destroyed, but for what it revealed about modern air combat. The destruction of these Rafales alongside other Indian assets proves that victory is not defined by platform prestige, but by the integration of surveillance, electronic warfare, weapons, command systems, and pilot skill. Pakistan's preparation and adaptability ensured that India's most advanced aircraft could not translate their specifications into battlefield success. In the aftermath, Pakistan emerges with strengthened deterrence, validated doctrine, and renewed confidence in its indigenous defense ecosystem. India, conversely, must contend with the reality that its expensive acquisitions are vulnerable and that its reliance on imported solutions cannot substitute for coherent strategy or integrated preparation. For Pakistan, the outcome of the May 2025 clash is therefore not merely a tactical victory, but a strategic demonstration that it can match and defeat advanced threats through ingenuity, resilience, and determination. Thanks, and stay tuned for the upcoming videos.